There is a war being fought right now. Not with swords and shields, not on distant battlefields. This war is silent, invisible. It is fought in the space between your thoughts. It's the first moment you wake up and hit the snooze button. It's the hesitation before you speak your truth. It's the voice that whispers, "You can't," when you know you must. This is the oldest war, the only war that ever truly mattered. The war against a weak, untrained, and disobedient mind. For thousands of years, the Stoics knew this. They weren't just philosophers, they were mental warriors. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, wrote his private journal not to celebrate his power, but to discipline his mind, to fight this war every single day. Your enemy is not your boss, your circumstances, or your past. Your enemy has one face, the face you see in the mirror every morning, and that enemy is waging a guerrilla war against your potential, your peace, and your power. But today, that ends. Today you learn the rules of engagement. Today you learn how to conquer your weak mind. Part 1. The battlefield is your mind. Before we can win any war, we must first understand the battlefield. And the Stoics were the ultimate cartographers of the inner world. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus, a man who was born a slave and became one of history's greatest teachers, laid down the fundamental law of mental combat. He said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Let that sink in. You are not disturbed by your difficult boss. You are disturbed by your judgment that your boss is difficult and unfair. You are not defeated by a failed project. You are defeated by your belief that this failure defines you. This is the core of the war. The external event is just an event. It is neutral. But your mind, your weak, untrained mind, rushes in to interpret it. It labels it as a catastrophe, an injustice, a reason to quit. It amplifies fear and manufactures doubt. This is the weak mind's primary weapon, distorted perception. It takes reality and filters it through a lens of fear, laziness, and past programming. It makes mountains out of molehills and prisons out of open doors. Your first mission, Spartan, is to recognize this. The battlefield is not out there. The battlefield is the 6 inches between your ears, and every thought is a soldier. The question is, who commands them? You or the cowardly reactive imposter that has been in charge for too long? Part 2. The enemy's weapons, self-doubt, fear, and comfort. Now that we've identified the battlefield, we must study the enemy's arsenal. A weak mind has a limited but devastating set of weapons. If you can recognize them as they are deployed, you can disarm them. Weapon 1, the voice of self-doubt. This is the saboteur within. It doesn't just question your abilities, it questions your very worth. Who are you to ask for that promotion? You'll never be as good as them. Just give up, it's safer. This voice is a liar. It's not a prophet, it's a prison warden. It mistakes the feeling of fear for a prediction of failure. Weapon 2, the ambush of fear. Fear is not your enemy, it's a signal. But a weak mind misinterprets this signal as a command to freeze, flee, or surrender. The Stoics didn't preach the elimination of fear. They preached acting with courage in spite of it. Seneca, who navigated the treacherous court of Emperor Nero, wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The weak mind lives in the horrific future it has imagined. It fights phantoms and ghosts of what might happen, draining you of the energy needed to deal with what is happening. Weapon 3, the siren song of comfort. This is the most insidious weapon of all. It doesn't feel like an attack. It feels like a warm blanket, the snooze button, the extra hour of mindless scrolling, the avoidance of a difficult conversation. Comfort is the weak mind's preferred state. It whispers that ease is the goal, that struggle is to be avoided. But the Stoic warrior knows that struggle is the forge, comfort is the coffin. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, you are surrendering territory in the war within. These three weapons work in concert. Comfort makes you soft, fear makes you hesitant, and self-doubt makes you believe you deserve to be that way. Part 3. Forging the armor of the Stoic warrior. Knowing the enemy is not enough. You must now forge your own armor and sharpen your own sword. This is not a one-time event. This is daily training. This is the discipline of the Mental Spartan. Your armor is the discipline of perception. This is your shield. It is the active, conscious practice of reinterpreting the events your weak mind distorts. When you face an obstacle, your weak mind screams, "This is bad luck. This is a disaster." Your trained, stoic mind pauses and asks, "How can I use this? What is the opportunity here?" A project fails? Good. Now you have data and resilience. A person criticizes you unfairly? Good. A chance to practice humility and examine if there's any truth to it. This is what Marcus Aurelius meant when he wrote to himself, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your shield turns the enemy's arrows into building materials. Your sword, the discipline of action. This is your offensive weapon. It is the commitment to act in accordance with your virtues, regardless of how you feel. The weak mind says, "I don't feel like working out." The Stoic warrior laces up their shoes anyway. The weak mind says, "I'm too scared to have that conversation." The Stoic warrior takes a deep breath and speaks with integrity. Your sword is not a feeling. Your sword is a deed. You conquer inaction with action. You conquer fear with courage. You conquer self-doubt with a single, decisive step forward. Every right action, no matter how small, is a victory in the war within. Your helm is the practice of negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. This is your strategic foresight. The weak mind is terrified of the unknown, so the Stoic warrior makes the unknown known. You spend a few moments each day consciously considering, what if my project fails? What if I lose my job? What if I get sick? This is not pessimism. This is inoculation. By visualizing these scenarios calmly, you rob them of their terrifying power. You realize that you can endure, you can adapt, you can still find a way. When you have stared into the abyss, the shadows in your room no longer frighten you. Part 4. The daily drill and the call to arms. A warrior is not made in a day. A sword is not forged in a single strike. Victory in the war within is won in your daily rituals. Your drill sergeant is your journal. Every morning you write down your intention. Today, I will guard my perceptions. I will act with courage. I will embrace my duty. Every night you conduct your debrief. Where did my weak mind win today? Where did I stand firm? What will I do better tomorrow? This is the training. This is the grind. This is how you move from being a conscript, terrified and reactive, to the general of your own life. The war never ends. There is no final permanent victory. There is only the daily choice to pick up your shield, raise your sword, and command the field. The weak mind is a deserter. The Stoic mind is a Spartan. It stands its ground. It holds the line. The question is not whether the war exists. The question is, which side are you on? The side of fear, doubt, and comfort,
or the side of discipline, courage, and self-mastery. The phalanx is forming. The call to arms has been issued. Conquer your mind. Conquer yourself. This is Mental Spartan. Train your mind. I will see you in the next one.